Thank you. I just wanted to ask a quick question about where you see, it's just a bit more about the demarcation boundary. So going back to the slab people, I mean, they've got some ability to negotiate and discuss, even if all the words they have are slab. Because, you know, you can smack someone around the head for bringing the wrong thing. And that seems to be an important part of actually, you know, what's mentioned in those specific examples.
I mean, if there weren't something like that, it wouldn't be an implicitly normative practice. We wouldn't see norms implicit in what they're doing, and then I think the Sprachspiel wouldn't serve Wittgenstein's purposes. So I agree that norms are in play, right. but I think there's a distinctive level of discursive norms that come about when some of the moves count as reasons entitling you to other moves or disqualifying you from other moves.
Well, doesn't someone not bringing me a slab, when I say slab, count as a reason for hitting them?
No.
Not. I mean, I kind of agree, but in the context of the game, why doesn't it? It seems
well, look.
exactly
I mean, for me, this sets up a sort of reverse engineering project. What is the minimal structure of a set of implicitly normative practices, which, because they can whack each other and express their practically express their normative attitude that this is not appropriate, and thereby be instituting a status in the community of being appropriate or inappropriate, even if a very thin one, but I think that's where it starts. What's the minimal structure of that a practice has to have to be intelligible as a game of giving and asking for reasons, that is, as something where making a move can count as saying that things are thus and so? And I say, well, first move, it's got to both be able to serve as and stand in need of reasons. I have an argument that you've got to, that for something to be intelligible as that, you've got to be distinguishing more normative statuses than just an appropriate move or an inappropriate one, just an on-off thing. You need to keep track practically of what somebody's committed themselves to and distinguish among the commitments they've made between those they're entitled to and those they aren't. Because only then can the question of whether he, when appropriately queried for a reason, which could just be some gesture, okay, why, for that, whether you're counting him as having given a good reason or not. You've got to distinguish between which of his commitments that he's undertaken are ones he's entitled to and ones that he's not. So a minimal condition, I would argue, I'm saying this now, I'm not arguing it now, is that you distinguish these two deontic statuses of commitment and entitlement, and then each of them has to stand in inferential relations to other, so that one commitment can commit you to other things, but it can also entitle you to other things, and it can preclude you from being entitled to other things. I mean, it's not a vastly complicated structure I think you need, but there's a number of moving parts in it. And the criterion of adequacy for that enterprise that I undertake in making it explicit is, I say, well, give me this much, these sort of two normative distinctions, the, as it were, consequential relations among them, and I will build a language out of it. I'll show you how to introduce conditionals and propositional attitude ascribing locutions and sort of all sorts of linguistic things. So again, there's a sort of hinge question. Can you, your sufficient conditions for being a language, you have to be able to get, well, something very language-like out of just those pieces. And that's the task, anyway, I set myself in making it explicit.